They had watched humanity for centuries before daring to touch the edges of its sky, studying its wars like distant astronomers, charting violent stars, mapping patterns, predicting outcomes, and believing they understood the species completely, yet missing the one truth that would cost them everything. Humans do not fight by rules. They fight to end the fight. And when the Virellian Concord finally descended upon Earth with flawless data and perfect confidence, their invasion began not with chaos, but with precision. Satellites blinking out, communication grids collapsing, power systems failing in eerie silence until the world fell into darkness, and the aliens waited for panic and surrender, as every other civilization had done. But humanity did not break. It adapted, because where logic ends, human defiance begins, and within hours scattered resistance networks formed across continents, uncoordinated yet alive, millions of individuals acting on instinct rather than command, each rewriting the rules of war in real time. And when the first Virellian unit touched down expecting an easy victory, they were met not by organized armies, but by mechanics, engineers, and ordinary civilians who had turned construction machines into weapons, who fought from impossible angles, who wasted resources if it meant a chance to win, who refused to retreat even in certain defeat. And in that moment, the alien predictive systems began to fail, because humans do not choose optimal moves, they choose possible ones, and possibility is infinite. As the conflict escalated, the Virellians deployed greater force, believing power would restore order, yet every escalation only fed human innovation, turning battlefields into shifting environments of traps, hacks, and improvisation, where alien technology was not matched but undermined, exploited through tiny flaws, and turned against its creators. And soon the invaders realized they were no longer controlling the war but reacting to it, facing not an army but an ecosystem of resistance that learned, adapted, and evolved faster than any model could predict, until the moment they would later call the collapse of predictability, when countless independent human actions aligned into a single devastating outcome, a cascading assault of sabotage, cyber intrusion, and environmental manipulation that disabled a Virellian command ship in orbit, not through superior strength, but through relentless unpredictability, proving that humanity did not need to win every battle to win the war. And from that point forward, the Virellians abandoned doctrine after doctrine in a desperate attempt to understand an enemy that refused to be understood. But adaptation requires time, and humanity gave them none, pushing the war beyond Earth into surrounding systems as humans carried the fight outward with a ferocity that defied logic, sacrificing resources, bending rules, and rewriting strategies with every encounter, until entire alien fleets vanished not in grand confrontations, but in fragmented engagements, where creativity overcame calculation, and at last the Virellians reached the only conclusion left: not surrender, but withdrawal, retreating from a conflict that could not be predicted or controlled, leaving behind a scarred yet unbroken world. And as they fled, they transmitted a message across the galaxy, not as a warning, but as a realization carved from defeat. Humanity is not dangerous because it is the strongest, but because it refuses to be defined, because it learns faster than it can be understood, and because it fights not for fairness, but for survival, and survival has no rules. And that is why humans never fight fair, because they never believed they could afford to lose.